plus clean, safe surroundings. Let us care for you. Extra Foods, always extra for less.
Attention all bakers, doubles vendors and roti makers. Try our high-quality bromate-free, all-purpose and whole wheat flour. Low price and conveniently packaged in 2 pounds, 2 kg, 10 kg and 25 kg bags. For wholesale and retail prices, contact Shiklisho Limited at 665-3336 or 480-8715 or visit us at Warrenville, Canupia. Shiklisho Limited, quality you can trust.
Mitsu Air Limited, authorized Mitsubishi air conditioning dealer. No need to replace your air conditioning units ever so often. Split units, cassette, ductable, CTVIF systems and much more. Mitsubishi Electric has long been powering industries and providing solutions for healthy living. Mitsu Air Limited boasts the industry's first 10-year warranty on all parts and labor. Inverter units are also available. Don't hear it, just feel it. Mitsu Air Limited, 246 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Give us a call at 674-4000 or 675-4000 or email us at mitsu.limited@gmail.com.
I'm Brian. I've been welding for more than 25 years. It's a rough job, so I need tools that last long and work efficiently. The most important tool that I use every day is a welding machine. A good one, in my experience, must last at least, let's say, 4 to 5 years without breaking down or losing efficiency. I've been using a Ronix welding machine for about 4 years now, and it's been a really good companion.
Ronix Premium Quality.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Breaking Barriers here on IBN Channel 8. Of course, this program is brought to you from the studios of IBN, which is located at number 61 Bamboo Main Road, Bamboo number 2. I'm your host, Inchana in our 19th year of hosting this program. Of course, after 19 comes 20. Imagine 20 years IBN will be on air. That is next year when we celebrate, God willing. And for those of you who have been watching this program and who have been supportive of this program, I would like to thank you so much for your continued support and, for being there in good times and bad times. Every time I get arrested, you're always there. Yeah, and that has happened oh so often. In fact, I see one man who may compete with me, and that is Christmas List. He may be hitting 7 soon. He has already been arrested 3 times, and God knows where they're going with that. But of course, he's going to make a good bit of money because I don't understand this. And what I don't understand too as well is the silence of the Canadian embassy, because Christmas List is a Canadian by birth, correct? So therefore, we'll see where that goes. Let's, of course, welcome our friend Style Expression to this segment, and let's get the ball rolling. Let's move on with our slides. Right, the iconic sports venue Jean-Pierre Complex gets a facelift. In Trinidad and Tobago, this is priority. You see children education. Trinidad, children could be in cesspit, rat hole. The school could be falling apart because under the present government, under PNM, Sat had made a statement, right? And he had said, I think about children beating pan and some beating books. At the end of the day, apparently this is this government's agenda. because everything is pan, everything is sports, but everything that is education falling apart. $36 million. And it would have cost less, but no maintenance was done because, you know, in Trinidad we just hire managers and they do nothing. Let's go again. NACTA, PNM holds early advantage of head of election. NACTA polled 490 people and get this result. But you know what? Out of those 490 people who supporting the PNM, only one bull pistol. And not just regular bull pistol. I'm talking about one that nice and soak. And I don't know what it's soaking, right? Because, let me tell you something. Runaway murders, extortion, police service falling apart and part of the criminal activity, food prices through the roof, schools falling apart, traffic day and night. Everything is non-functional in this country. And all you still want to go and support them, something has to be wrong with all you. One is that more mad people outside than inside. Let's go again, guys.
Oh gosh.
Bridal Bridge, the Ministry of Works and Transport wishes to advise the public that it will be a temporary road closure, and this is for the Bridal Road Bridge. And they are saying what? It's going to do some work with some water line, a pipeline relocation. They had done a pipeline relocation before the bridge was built. That is what kept back the bridge for months. So therefore, I want to see if it is really a pipeline relocation. I suspect that all the bad work that went on, all the crookery that went on, they're going to try and repair and bring it back up to scratch. Well, bring it to scratch because it was never up to scratch. Let's go again. This is Akbar Trace. In 3 months' time, this entire stretch of road fall apart. This, check it out, man. This is millions of dollars down the drain. Courtesy Rohan Sinanan. Courtesy the people at Pure. An entire stretch, almost a kilometer long, fail within 3 to 4 months' time. Contractor never held accountable. Nobody ever came and did major. Watch this, man. Right? And all you expect me to say that we should be accepting this? And the people who saying that here what in PNM will come back, they all you accepting this? Nah, something had to be wrong with all your head, or had to be mad or something. And this has been highlighted a few times and Rohan has done nothing. And you know why the contractor hasn't come back? Simple. The contractor got the specs. In other words, they were told what to do by the Ministry of Works. The Ministry of Works told them, here, this is the specs all you need to work with. This is what we want all to do. All you don't need to do anything to hold the road from slipping, you know. Right? One is that Jumbie, because we have plenty Jumbie from Tobago, from Lake Kutu, wanting that go hold the road from falling apart. And today I decided to stop on the highway, which is a very brave thing to do, especially in Trinidad and Tobago, because you could be standing on the highway and people could be thieving your false seat. Right? So, and I saw this beautiful piece of work on the highway. Run that clip, guys. This is the high quality workmanship approved by Rohan Sinanan, where they sprinkle a little tar, and this is the level of road repairs being done all over the country. Skullduggery left, right and center. Right now, we are seeing some of the biggest set of fraud and corruption in the Ministry of Works in terms of drainage, road repairs, bridge repairs. And we are tolerating this and swallowing it. Well, I gotta tell you, like the road, all the money is slipping into friends and families' pockets of the highway. Trinidad is the only country where the road has slipped and become a sidewalk. And that is exactly what happened there. Probably, maybe that is by design, where they designed it for the road to slip and go and patch a hole on the sidewalk or on the shoulder. Maybe it's a new technology now, I don't know, because I am not an engineer, never claimed to be an engineer, but the reality of it is that when you look at what took place there, somebody was paid for doing shoddy work and approved by the ministry. Let's go again, guys. Moody, everybody remember in bamboo number 2, they say that the guard boot that I built is a danger to the public. But yet it is by bamboo number 3, which is under the Tinapuna Piako Regional Corporation, a man could open a whole scrapyard on the road. Both sides. And the Tanapuna Piako Regional Corporation does nothing. In other words, you could multiply my guard boot by 20 there. But you see, this is what I tell you. Certain people in this country can get away with murder, but certain people cannot even build a guard boot to protect themselves. Such is life. We're going again. I look at this, and I remember when this was being built. I said to myself, the person who building this right now had to be a dunce, because all of the road, you have bottlenecks. You clear up the bottlenecks first, and then you build this interchange. This interchange, I say people get a nice view from the top. And exactly what I said is what was happening there. Everybody was getting a nice view from the top. But again, it's Trinidad. But I gotta tell you, they're going to build the next one again. Let's go again, guys. Zoom into that vehicle number plate for me, please. You see, this is the problem with Trinidad. When Gary was there, they had put a stop to police driving on the shoulder. But these fellas and them driving RAV4, all kind of fancy vehicle now, going on the shoulder, whether it is they have siren or not, you're not authorized to use the shoulder in case of an emergency. But you see, again, it's police, so they could do what the hell they want and get away with it. So the driver of PDX 3316, you're driving like a clown on the shoulder. Well, knowing my luck, it's probably a senior inspector who always giving me trouble. Right, let me get the, let's run to that. Trinidad. This is Trinidad. Where, you could just kill the volume, where billions and billions of dollars spent to dredge rivers. Billions of dollars. And some of these contractors are some of the biggest con men. They didn't have equipment up to a few years ago. And now all of a sudden, the whole yard full. And everywhere you look now is flooding, places that never flooded. And Rohan and the ministry and Pure, you don't see them at all. Rohan said 5 years ago that flooding will be a thing of the past. Well, he'll come and say, well, 5 more years again. This is where we are at. Nothing has changed. In fact, it has only gotten worse, because I mention it ad nauseum that Trinidad is the only country where we pay contractors to dredge the river, and we don't even know if they take out a pound of dirt, 5 bottles, we know nothing, we pay them. And if they move the excavator from Caroni to Shogunas, there's no measurement of what was done, and this is the crookery that take place. Not only that, many of the rivers that they claim to dredge, they just clean out the grass on top. And this is so common. Look at this now, man. When you look at this, do you think that there is any improvement between years ago and now? No improvement. You would look at this and think that this is from Bangladesh or one of those countries, and that never had billions of dollars to spend on dealing with these issues. Look, that is UE, by the way. I hope that's the engineering department that all the flooding is by, so that at least they can come up with some solution. Let's go again, guys. All you seen this? Count how much TVs is. Wait, pull that back. Count how much TVs all you seen here. Let me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, 20, 30, 40. All right. In this section alone, we have about 50 TVs, right? And 50 TVs, say you have 32-inch, and that is about maybe $2,000. That is 100,000 just in that section alone on TVs, right? And then we have the other side with the 50-inch, the 60-inch, the 75-inch. But not only that, zoom into the top, guys. Zoom into the top. This is Price Smart. Watch the amount of television and appliances that Price Smart have. Not only for sale, but inventory. But you with your dotish self cannot even go away to Costco and buy 2 TV because your card declined. Look, my brother here. He and I went to Miami the other day, and my card get declined for $30 US. $30 US. His card got declined too. But you see, again, this is what we tolerate. We have an outsider in this country, which is Price Smart, with millions of dollars in TV in one branch. So PriceSmart probably about $10-20 million in TV in the 3 or 4 branches they have. You, as somebody who want to take care of your children and you just deal with little electronics, you cannot even buy 2 televisions to sell over to make a little profit to feed your family. But PriceSmart could get hundreds of millions of dollars approved by my government and my state. Unicommerce Limited, watch it and you will see it from next month. Unicommerce Limited have 44 bays in Freeport, and all 44 bays will be occupied with containers coming in. What does Unicommerce do to earn foreign exchange? What does PriceSmart do to earn foreign exchange? You see, and therein lies the problem. You have new car companies set up the other day, BYD set up. Where BYD get any foreign exchange from? And that is rubbish, by the way. Right? Like I said, these Chinese vehicles, when all ready for parts, all go hold all the hay and bowl. Right? Because, and then where Porsche getting all the foreign exchange from? Where Suzuki getting all the foreign exchange from? Where Great Wall Motors getting all the foreign exchange from? And we sit down like a pack of dummies. And we cannot even get 5,000 US. Our credit cards have been cut in half. When are we going to wake up? Eh? Our business is starving right now. And we just telling the government, come, look at have something that take it away from me. That is the only thing for we to live on now, take it away. And then you have the other dummies on the other side voting for this to continue. You see, no matter where you go in the world, you always have people who will vote for madness. For example, Venezuela. Even though Venezuela is on the brink of tipping over, you have mad people who will support Maduro because they are benefiting. Similarly with Haiti, even though Haiti gone through, you have people who will vote to keep these people in power. And similarly, you have people who will go to Mount Hope and wait for 3 years to do an MRI, and they will vote PNM, even though coffee, the government spent $3 million to look after coffee abroad. And that is how stupid some of you are. But talking about stupid, let me go on to the next stupid thing now. Take a look at this.
What is going on? I'm going to call my camera to police. Yes, I get it straight away.
No, it's an arrestable offense, ma'am. Camouflage is an arrestable offense.
Okay.
Right?
And it's just a rag I have on, but we just come to get something.
No, but it's an arrestable offense, ma'am.
Okay, you want to arrest me for a rag?
I wanted the beginning of the clip, guys, from the beginning to the arrest. All you show me from the arrest. Right? So I want from the beginning, right? One is that police arrested her husband, so she running across the road. She has on a bandana that is camouflage.
I'm a civilian,
right?
and I'm entitled to record.
Let's take it from there.
He
Go ahead.
with me, and he come out to get something for me to drink. No, I don't. Okay, I can take it off. It's nothing. It's just a rag. It's just a rag.
It's arrestable.
This is crazy. We just come to get something to drink. We have each other in the car. What he do wrong? He come out. Yes. Okay. All right, no problem. Okay, and you want me to throw it away? Could I throw it away? It's just a banana. What is going on? I'm going to call my camera to police. Yes, I get it. You could throw it away.
No, it's an arrestable offense, ma'am. Camouflage is an arrestable offense.
Okay.
Right?
And it's just a rag I have on, but we just come to get something.
No, but it's an arrestable.
Good. So the mother got arrested for a rag on her head, which is camouflage, which is one of the most stupidest laws out. But the fact is that why it is, when there are certain protests, people will be wearing on camouflage pants, camouflage jersey in front of the police, and the police never touch them. Because you know why? Those same officers will get butu in their ass from the same people who wear on that camouflage. They afraid them. They're a bunch of cowards and a bunch of stupidities. So that is why the police will never interfere with certain people. They will never go in certain areas and interfere because they know it's drop kick. They know it's bullet. So they wouldn't interfere. But this woman who said, I have my children in my vehicle, the dummy police decide that they will arrest her. Right? For what? She has a rag on her head. Let me tell you something. And Mr. Sleepy, the Minister of National Security, said that there is no problem wearing on camouflage once it does not mistake you for a member of the defense force. So what is the problem? What is the problem? You could take that to court, but again, you see, this is what I can't understand about this country. Look at where we reach, where a woman just questioning what's going on with her husband, and because she recorded, because she was recorded, that is why they're arresting her. Because she was recording and questioning what the hell are they doing. I would like to get this whole story, so the family is watching right now. The family of the young lady and the family of the gentleman. If the gentleman is out on bail or whatever, if he was charged or he was charged, please let me know via WhatsApp. My WhatsApp number is 684-4762. That's 684-4762. All right, so what we're going to do is that we have some discussions which is going to take place immediately after this break. You're watching Breaking Barriers right here on IBN Channel 8. Remember, there are several ways you can contact me. You can contact me via breakingbarriers@gmail.com. That's my email. If you have documents to send or videos or whatever, you could send it to that address. Or you could WhatsApp me at 684-4762. I need to remind people, when you call and you ask me and you need to speak to me on an issue, I cannot do that. It's impossible for me to take every call on every issue. And some of you does have some long kata. So therefore, at the end of the day, I really can't go down that road. All right? So if you have an issue that you want me to deal with, send me a WhatsApp message and I'll respond to you. I always respond to all my messages. All right? So we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue right here on Breaking Barriers. I have two guests, and we're going to discuss an upcoming crime symposium, an event that is taking place at the TML Center in St. Joseph, and we're going to discuss crime in general. We'll be back right after this.
I'm Brian. I've been welding for more than 25 years. It's a rough job, so I need tools that last long and work efficiently. The most important tool that I use every day is a welding machine. A good one, in my experience, must last at least, let's say, 4 to 5 years without breaking down or losing efficiency. I've been using a Ronix welding machine for about 4 years now, and it's been a really good companion.
Ronix Premium Quality. Ronix Heavy Duty 89 Series. High efficiency, brushless 20-volt motor. All-in-one professional angle grinder kit. Ronix brushless angle grinder.
This year, protect your home with a beautiful standing seam roof that is built to last. Standing seam roofs are proven to last longer, eliminate potential leak points and rusting that screws cause. Build to Last is offering 5% off your purchase, plus save up to $2,000 with free roll forming of your roofing sheets and guttering. Roofing that's built to last. Build to Last Hardware and Roofing Manufacturing Limited, Southern Main Road, Freeport. Call or WhatsApp 355-7703.
Mitsu Air Limited, authorized Mitsubishi air conditioning dealer. No need to replace your air conditioning units ever so often. Split units, cassette, ductable, CTVRF systems, and much more. Mitsubishi Electric has long been powering industries and providing solutions for healthy living. Mitsu Air Limited boasts the industry's first 10-year warranty on all parts and labor. Inverter units are also available. Don't hear it, just feel it. Mitsu Air Limited, 246 Eastern Main Road, Barataria. Give us a call at 674-4000 or 675-4000 or email us at mitsu.limited@gmail.com.
And welcome back, my friends. Of course, you're watching Breaking Barriers, and for those of you who are online, good to have you online, whether it is Facebook or YouTube. In studio, I have next to me a gentleman who I'm very familiar with because I've seen his family around. In fact, many an occasion for Eid and other events, I've dined in not too far from him. What happens is that his hairstyle is similar to mine. Of course, I'd like to welcome Issa to the station, the IBN station. And of course, Issa, it's a pleasure having you. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Pleasure to be here.
And of course, next to him, we have the man himself, the Saga boy himself. Reminds me of Kishore Kumar with that hairstyle. Of course, Jai, I've known you for years now. And it's good to see that you're aging well, my friend.
I'm trying my best.
Excellent.
Thank you.
All right. So basically, an event is coming up soon. An event is coming up. Could we get that flyer, guys? Right. So I just want to show you exactly the public who is watching right now. Right. The Citizens Summit on Crime and Violence. And of course, this is taking place. Right. Could we zoom in a little bit? Right. 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. September the 22nd. Wait a minute. What will I put on that date for, boy? I think TKR playing a match on that date. You sure about that? 18 and 19. Okay. No, you sure? 22nd is in Barnlare, no? You go check that and see. Right. So I know Mirza, I know Dr. Tiwari, I know Martin George. Ricardo Mohammed, who's that?
Ricardo Mohammed has three portfolios in Chan. He is the Vice Chairman of the Confederation of Regional Business Chambers.
Right.
He's the President of the Eastern Business Merchants Association, which is an alternative chamber in Grandy, but very, very active. And then he's the President of the Pharmacy Board of Trinidad and Tobago.
Okay, so many hats. And so he 100% more qualified than me.
Me? Maybe.
Right, and of course you are Pastor Clyde Dutton and others.
Right, and you know Pastor Dutton.
Right, he's one of my favorites. Let's start the ball rolling.
Okay.
Where did this idea generate from? Where they come from, and what is the purpose of hosting this event?
So, Inshan, I'm going to tell you a story that I think everybody here familiar with. This morning, our family discussion at home was about reinforcing the doors inside the bedroom, right? Because the discussion was how easy it is to take a jack, pry open the burglar proof, and gain entry into your house, right? So thinking about what is going to be the next step when we become victims again. I'm going to say again because we were victims already, right? The sad reality is that this sort of conversation is taking place on breakfast tables, dinner tables, all across the country every day. I challenge anybody to tell me when was the last time a day passed and only didn't talk crime in some way, form, or fashion in this country. The sad thing about it is that the children are hearing all the conversations. They're listening to all the news. I have 3 boys who could barely sleep at night because of the amount of anxiety that they feel just not being safe in this country. And I don't think we understand the generational trauma that is going to reverberate for decade upon decade to come that is happening in our children. The crime situation is without doubt the single worst thing that this country probably has ever faced in its history. This present crime situation we're facing now is the most damaging and dangerous thing we have ever faced. And for me, my wife, the politicization of our security and the future of our children, we simply had enough of it. So last year we organized the March Against Crime in Port of Spain, and we went around the savannah with the flags, right? Out of that, we are continuing. We took place in several crime forums between then and now, and this is the continuation, because we cannot have nothing happening in terms of our national response to this situation, and as citizens and as parents simply sit quietly and leave it to the politicians to bicker back and forth about it. No, I am a Muslim. We here are Muslims, right? And Islamic principles tell us that if you see an evil, fix it with your hand. If you cannot fix it with your hand, you speak out against it. If you cannot speak out against it, hate it in your heart, but that is the weakest of faith.
Correct.
We are not content, and I don't think any single one of us should be content to simply let the situation meander aimlessly in a diatribe of verbal diarrhea, which is what we're faced with and what we see from the leaders that are placed in front of us. So as citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, we took it upon ourselves to be the noisemakers in society, to say how we feel and to take responsibility for all those citizens who feel the same way but probably don't have the courage to get up and speak on camera the way you would do it or the way that some of us would do it.
Well, one of the things that I had mentioned before, Justin, I'm just sending you something I think I'd sent you early on, but I just sent it to you. Right, so one of the things that concerns me, and I had spoken about it earlier on, is that in my time, in 2007, when we decided to shut down this country, 95% of this country shut down. It was the first time in history that 95% of any country shut down over crime. And this was with myself and 15 others. And we were able to accomplish this. Of course, I was arrested the night before and charged under the Anti-Terrorism Act. And I was kept overnight. And then the next morning, I was charged for printing a flyer without the printer's name, right? Which is to tell you how dunce and dotish the PNM was then. And nothing has changed. But the fact is that for me, when you look at this, could we get this? Yeah, could we get that slide now, please? 20 detained as vessel intercepted off North Coast, right? But this is a normal occurrence. This happens every single day. But somebody looking like they get their money in the Coast Guard. Somebody looking like they get their kakada. So here what happening? The captain and them just make all kind of 7,000 US per trip. And nobody checks on the finances of these fellas and them. But the reason I brought that up is because all over the world, you try to safeguard your assets. You try to make sure that information that you put out there will not be beneficial to criminals. When you say all your Coast Guard ships down, what are you doing? You have just raised the right flag and you have surrendered, because now we boys and them in Venezuela, we are 6 and 7 here in Venezuela. It had 92, 93, 94. They're seeing that our borders are now porous because the big ships is what they use with their radar and this and that. They now have an open avenue to come to Trinidad, courtesy the government of Trinidad and Tobago and the Minister of National Security, because he endorsed the fact that our borders are now porous. Jai, does it make sense that we talk crime, and when you look at the other side, in regards, the fact is that when you look at the TTPS and what they are doing in regards to crime, they are telling you that we have a reduction. Partner, I don't want to know if it have a reduction in thief and duck or thief and goat. I want to know it have a reduction in Trinidad and Tobago, where there's murders, where there's extortion, things that affect us, and then we'll deal with the smaller thing.
Inshan, I want to start off by saying that there is a loss of confidence in the protective services right now. And there's a loss of confidence in the whole business environment of Trinidad and Tobago. Because of the prevalence in crime, and the chair I sit in the Confederation of Chambers, a lot of people, I'm aware that quite a lot of people, especially in South Trinidad and parts of Central Trinidad, are migrating and leaving the country. They are selling off a lot of their assets. They are migrating. Some of them have businesses at a reduced level running as going concerns. They're trying to get their children out of the country. They are frightened, especially they remember the kidnappings that took place starting 2002 to 2010. That put families through some trauma. Now, in terms of the TTPS, from where I sit, I am not seeing them getting properly resourced. And the other side of things...
Wait, I'm gonna take you up on that. Expand on that point.
In terms of the vehicles, in terms of their...
I disagree.
Okay.
My company was one of the largest facilitators for repairs, but because of racism,
yes,
right, I could say it boldfacedly.
Yes.
Because of exposing fraud by the crooks and the conmen who are seniors in the police service, my company was thrown out. We were literally starved by the TTPS. And I could say it boldfacedly because of race too, because senior officers told us that. There is no shortage of police vehicles. Absolutely none. Because if you watch the amount of vehicles that were bought, you would realize that the police stations are well equipped with vehicles. Where the problem lies is that you have conmen, a lot of conmen fixing police vehicles now. A lot of them. You have people who smoking ganja in police vehicle while it's being repaired. You have garages that taking out 2 weeks to do something that should take 1 day. Whose fault is that? What is the fleet manager doing right now? What is his responsibility? Not only that, we have over 1,000 vehicle park up. When Gary was there, right, what Gary did, we came up and we told Gary, you have 15 of ours there. Out of that 15 of ours, we could take those 15 of ours and we could build 10 and 20. Gary gave us approval through fleet to go and start that, and we started that process. And vehicles that were parked up, rotten, we were able to repair and use other vehicles. So there's no shortage of vehicles. What we have is a shortage of common sense. There's no shortage of resources. Resources like what? Like vests? Partner, if I am a police and my vest expire, to hell was with Erla, to hell was with Heinz. Nobody making me come out to work because that is a part and parcel of my package. And if that is what is protecting me, then here what happening. Ole ain't getting me to come out here because here what happening. Superman and my brother. I do bounce a bullet off of my chest. So the fact is that when it comes to the resources, police have resources to come in the outside woman, especially one that is bringing Spanish. Police have money for that. They have vehicles for that. So why they don't have vehicles to come when you get robbed? Why? So the resources part, I could argue on that because I'm familiar with the resources. But the problem lies in that the police service, you have somebody, if I ask you and Issa a question, if you have a manager that is responsible and that manager is failing in their responsibility, isn't it fact that the people who are working for the company, seeing that the company falling down, they would lose confidence in that manager?
Certainly.
But this is what is happening.
Well, Inshan, I'm glad you brought it up from that perspective, and I'll tell you why. Going back to what you said about the boats, right, and about the fleet, and the way I look at this as a citizen in this country, the government just did a self-appraisal where they asked themselves how well they performed, right? We saw at least a couple officials from the protective services as well giving some sort of appraisal on how well they performed. The way I look at this situation is simple. The citizens of this country are the ones who would have voted and put into office those persons to run our affairs. And so any appraisal that needs to be done on their performance needs to be done not by themselves, but by us, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And so if your assets are non-functional, meaning you have 6 boats and all 6 are down at the same time, that tells me something about your performance and where your appraisal should lie. As a citizen of this country, I am concerned by the performance of my elected officials to discharge the duties that were assigned to them by us, the voters of this country. And I'm very concerned about that. And that is part and parcel of what we aim to do by creating a culture of civic participation. Because the first thing they will say is, oh, that's a politician vying for office when the opposition raises the same concerns. They throw the politics. I am not a politician. I am not vying for office. I have no skin in this game. I have nothing to gain by calling you out. But you know something? I have everything to gain by calling you up because it is the safety of my children that I am concerned about. And so this is nothing to do with, I want to make you look bad so somebody else could. No. We are the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, and we are the ones who have to say when the performance of our elected officials is up to standard or not. And by their actions, we will know what their performance is, and by the availability of the vehicles, and by the availability of the ships, and by the ability of the police to gain the confidence of the society and to get buy-in in their community, and to get the respect of the people that they work together with, and to use the cameras and to wear the body armor, and to effect arrests and to have convictions made in our court system. Because if there are no convictions being made in the court system, it means that our national security and justice system is failing. So we need to look at what those results are and to say whether or not those persons who we put to do that job are doing the job well or not.
And in addition to this, why is the police going through a low detection rate? There's been no diagnostic studies as to why this is taking place or their approach to solving a crime. How do they take the information they receive and convert that to some level of value where the families of the victims, where the perpetrator is caught and, as I said, tried and convicted? That is an issue. A big thing was blown out in the country regarding the SSA and how the director lost his job, they arrested a pastor. All these things is what added to further breakdown in confidence. The SSA is supposed to be our national security apparatus, getting information at a higher level and then disseminating it downwards so that action and decisions can take place. I don't know how well this is being done, Inshan, and that is worrisome. So the crimes are being committed. It may not be properly being investigated because why, and I'm basing this, Inshan, on why is the detection rate low? Then we're looking at the whole issue, and you showed it on a clip, the interaction with the police and the public. Now, I know they have a difficult job, but there are ways they can interact with the public to make it more amicable and more palatable. That, I think, is also an issue that is taking place.
No, but one is, I don't buy the excuse that they have a difficult job. The fact is that you get into a job fully well knowing what it takes to get involved and to do your best. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, you can't tell the difference between police and thief now. And that is part of the problem. When you look at Tobago, 22 murders, and then all of a sudden now, today, this evening, we find out that the mother and the two little babies, less than, one I think is 3 and the other one is 5, all 3 of them found in a water tank. Right? I mean, this is where we're at. It's almost as if the devil himself running the country. It's almost as if the devil himself here say happening. I take in charge of Trinidad and Tobago now, I steering. Because everything that you think was not possible happening. I mean, Friday gone, I think Mirza had given a khutbah. And what happened is that he had reminded us that there will come a time, and this is Quran speaking here, that there will come a time when people will kill and they not even know why they kill. And the person who was killed would not even know why they killed me. Right? And this is going on right now in this country. But you see, we had mentioned this before again, and I would like to repeat it, that we are a bunch of cowards. People call me, Inshan, here what happening, boy, it has some people next door. They're just bringing guns, they just do this and that. You made a report, they will kill me, boy. Or Inshan, somebody come and park up in front of my gate, boy. One is have a fed up talk to the man, come and talk to him now. So we have become so fearful that when we used to stand up long time, for example, when you look at Mount Hope School, 200 parents affected. When it's time to stand up, how much parents there? 10. Mm-hmm. In every village you're protesting for water, a whole area like Rio Claro, whatever, affected. You have thousands of people living there. When it's time to stand up, 10. So in everything that we are doing, people just afraid. It's a bunch of bloody yellow bellies and cowards. And it has to change. Because I've always said, I break jail 7 times. And my wife knows. Out of those 7 times, there was never fear once in me. I don't know if it was because I'm real dotish. But the fact is that for me, I've always said, you see, when you stand up for what is right, irregardless of the consequences, you do what you have to do. And with this initiative that you all have, it's a start. But what I want every month, and I will support you in this, every month there has to be something. It has to lead up to something. It cannot just die down just like that. Because when you had the walk and the march, I mentioned to you, once you get people around who are well known, once you get people who are the movers and shakers in society, people will gravitate. But if there's an absence of that, then who is this fella boy? So the first thing Trinidadians will look to say where he want. Exactly what you said. Look at our next politician in the meeting.
So you're calling for momentum, a momentum.
Anytime you do not have a momentum, you lose everything. Because at the end of the day, the snowball effect, you're building a snowball here and the snowball just keep remaining the same size.
Now Inchan, you raise an important one, and I will just respond to that, and then I'll ask Esther to come into it as well. You're right. The people of this country feel very beat-down, and they feel very disempowered. There are very few who are taking an active part like your good self. And Esther and I had a conversation. What is the spark that will get the people to come out? Because the country belongs to the people. Now, what we are, and I'm using the word guardedly, experimented with, as Issa said, this is nothing to do with politics. But the country has two leaders who are part of the political past of this country. We need some revived, refreshed thinking on how to lead a certain level of governance in Trinidad and Tobago. There was a whole constitutional reform committee. It was since Sir Hugh Wooden. It came down to Robinson, Hayat Ali Commission. It came down now to Prakash Rawada, where it went to Parliament and Kamala blew it. I guess my opinion. And
hold on. You don't need to apologize for any political statement on this program, you know, because facts is facts. And if what you're saying is facts, I don't have no problem.
She blew it.
So loud as it is.
She blew it, and she blew it bad. And then now you have this commissioner, the Barry Sinanan. And then you have a leader standing up in a party function at Napa and ruling the country by fiat, by saying they recommend proportional representation out the door. They recommend fixed terms for a prime minister out the door. They recommended fixed election dates out the door. Where is the discussion among the people?
Where is the discussion with the coat of arms?
Exactly. So you are ruling the country by fiat, and we are a democracy, but apparently, Mr. Inchan, we just have political democracy, not participatory democracy. Now, this is going somewhere where I'll ask Issa to jump in. This is why, and you and I have talked about this privately in the past, the country belongs to the people. The people must not be afraid of the government. The government must be afraid of the people. So, even when the US got independence in 1776, and the rule of that time, the structural rule was royalty. This is the first time a country formed a government to rule, right, and to be elect their president. Now we are experimenting. We're telling the citizens, come and take your power back. This has nothing to do with red, yellow, no politics. We want to give the people their chance to say something and to participate, because this crime is getting out of control. I mean, I have read extensively. I've called you when you were putting up the boot in the bamboo. And I mean, I was very concerned because what may have been happening here, happening to a lot of businesses in South and Central Trinidad. And it is scary. And something has to be done.
Yeah, but you see, in Trinidad, criminals could go and take over land. Criminals could take over agency whole apartments. Criminals could do what the hell they want in Trinidad and Tobago and not have any implications. But a village decided that we want a guard boot. We built the guard boot, and it was broken down. Whereas in the Tunapuna Piako Regional Corporation, hundreds of breaches along that whole corporation. But they wouldn't touch them. But you see, again, what does it show you? It shows you that the government is on the side of the criminals. Because what could have come out from that? Today I showed where the garage had opened up. A man got a river and opened up a garage in Bamboo number 3. Nobody never do nothing. But you see, this is where we're at. And for me, I am one leg out already, one leg in the grave, the other grave, I don't know when it'll drop. I have 3 children. I have a son, 25 years. I have a daughter who's 19 years. I have a daughter who is 17 years. And for me, all I want before I close my eyes is to know that I did something to safeguard my children. Because when my son goes out and coming back, my wife will stand up by that window and watch and make sure that he reaches home safely. Why? Why have we reached there? Look, for example, dogs, right? I have to mind big dogs now and put automatic system and this and that. Why have we reached this point when 99% of us in this country are good people?
You use a word that just this morning when I was thinking about this interview, it came to my mind, which is the devil, right? You look at some names, Faith Peterkin, Jamal Modis, Andrea Lallan. Let me go back a little further in history. Sean Luke, Akil Chambers. Children are being slaughtered. Children are being slaughtered in the streets of our country. And children being slaughtered in the streets of other countries too, but it should never be Trinidad and Tobago, right? It should never be Trinidad and Tobago. I, as a father, I am seeing the crime situation in Trinidad is the devil. But my job as a father is to put myself between the devil and my children. Any father would do that.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
Any father.
Yes,
any father
true.
would put yourself between the devil and your children. I understand people scared in this country, and victimization is real. Look at Christmas list. They come after him. Look at yourself and the history you have with the government in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
The victimization is real, and they come at you with everything they have, and every little thing becomes the most monumental problem for anything that you're trying to do. But that, when you stick your head up, that is what you sign yourself up for. And what we're saying is you have to choose now. People in Trinidad and Tobago have to choose. You have to choose between your family and that. And you have to get that courage. Because if you don't find that courage inside yourself, what future you have? How are you going to look in the eyes of I think about that. How am I going to look in the eyes of my grandchildren? My future grandchildren. I don't have grandchildren. One day, God willing, inshallah, I have grandchildren. They look and they say, in Trinidad, in 2024, when this was happening, what you do? Inshallah, I just trying to make sure that I don't break down in shame to answer that question.
Yeah, but many people willing. Many people have no issue with that. Many people, there are parents right now who watching this program right now. A bandit come in their house, they will push their child in front.
Well, at least I want to make it sure that I could say, we organize a march. You could say, you build a guard boot. You shut down the country. You know something? I need to say that for myself too. That I organize a march. That I organize a crime summit. That I spoke to every citizen of Trinidad and Tobago to get them there to do something for them, not for me.
You know what position the police have me right now in terms of on the radar? I am just under Abu Bakr. They are so afraid of me. They are so afraid of me. The police of Trinidad and Tobago, the TTPS, have me as one of the most influential individuals in the country. And this is not me telling you that. This is people from within the police service. Because I've always asked the question, how come it is when I do something, it always have the police on edge? Look, police come on the compound the other day, right? After we won a case, the same officer ended up sending somebody from Shogunas to find out if we have permission to put up the barrier that we have. Police came with a full car load in Baraka grounds. Hello? Yeah, what happened is that boy, Ishmael, we sorry to do it, they said, but you have that barrier that you put up in front. You have permission? Hold on a second. Could you send the permission to... We have permission from the corporation. That is who we went through. But imagine the police service sent a full car load of officers to find out if we have permission for a blasted barrier. But let me take it even further now. When the guard boot was breaking down, you know how much officers they sent here? 5 o'clock in the morning? Make a guess.
20?
16 officers and 5 vehicles.
Wow.
Why they don't do that in the hot spots?
Exactly.
Because they will get bullet. They will get bullet and they will get bent. But you see in Bamboo here, is donkey. Is illiterate coolies down inside there now. So you do what the hell you want. You come and you use and you break down and you mash up. And nobody cares. Because it's in Ishmael here, 16 police you send to break down a guard boot. And when somebody get murdered, you don't have no car. Because the car by the Spanish, the inspector, he have the car borrow, he going to pick up some Spanish, that boat come. Justin, I just sent you something. Just put it up for me when you're ready, please.
But I want to say ancient too. Let us transpose you into England or one of these developed countries. The police don't handle it like that. The police will sit with you and negotiate and talk a sensible conversation with you.
Not only that, the government will come and say, Ishmael, here what happened? We understand the need for a guard boot. Okay, fine. The guard boot bill are ready. Let me see how we could work with you to get this because you helping us.
Right.
You are helping us.
Yes.
Let me tell you something. A young boy from Bamboo. And I want you to, and this is what pained me, a young boy from Bamboo. He home in his house, 2 o'clock in the morning. No, sorry, he was at a gas station in Mova, by Mova Junction there. They accosted him there, bring him in Bamboo 2 o'clock in the morning and empty his house, take back the vehicle and make him walk from, I think, Lavanti or one of them areas on him. So, if that guard boot was functional, that would not have happened. But you see, again, we had a fella here who was the president of the village council who played political games and lied and said that this is Inshan guard boot. He told the corporation that. But look at this. This is my partner, Amy Rikong. Look, they're having a meeting, and watch his shape of the table is like a coffin. Right? I mean, zoom in. Right? You having a meeting to discuss crime, and the very shape of the table is like a coffin. So this is, and watch the bunch of people there now. It's like all of them lost. All of them lost, and Mr. Silk, their skin in his teeth. What have they accomplished? Heinz have been a minister of failure in everything. You put Heinz in anything. If you put Heinz in charge of goat, he gonna fail. It have nothing you could put this man in charge of and he succeeds. Ola, oh, for God's sake. One of the things that I've, come back to me guys, one of the things I've always said is that a strong police commissioner, the voice of that person must command respect. Ola, well, we go Dubai, crime gone up. All you say it gone up, we say it gone down. And that is how she is. That is how it is. Anyway, folks, what happened is that we know that many of you are watching right now and, of course, want to chime in. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our second break. And when we come back, we are going to open up our phone lines during the program for you to call in. Guys, could we get the numbers on the screen, please? 6638373 or 6454426. Feel free to chime in anytime as we deal with issues. Before we take that break, just want to remind you that the Baraka Foundation, our flea market, our December flea market bookings have already started. And it is one of the most successful flea markets in the central area with 100% success rate, meaning that all tenants have had success at our flea market because, like I say, we real dread. We don't mix matters. We just make sure and look after people. All right? And also, I want to make this very plain and straightforward. For the upcoming Diwali, we're going to give 3 days free as normal. But I want to qualify that statement with something. If ASP Smith is any part of the Diwali Nagar and part of the police team, we will not be opening our car park to facilitate anybody. I'm making that point blank because we have had too much harassment, we have had too much intimidation, and we are not going to tolerate it this year. I am not going to tolerate it. I'm really not going to tolerate it. Because if somebody falsely arrests me this time, it's some serious drop kick in the tail. I ain't joking. We're going to take a break, and when we come back, we'll continue right here on Breaking Barriers. We'll be back.
I'm Brian. I've been welding for more than 25 years. It's a rough job, so I need tools that last long and work efficiently. The most important tool that I use every day is a welding machine. A good one, in my experience, must last at least, let's say, 4 to 5 years without breaking down or losing efficiency. I've been using a Ronix welding machine for about 4 years now, and it's been a really good companion.
Ronix Premium Quality. Runix Heavy Duty 89 Series. High efficiency, brushless 20-volt motor. All-in-one professional angle grinder kit. Runix brushless angle grinder.
This year, protect your home with a beautiful standing seam roof that is built to last. Standing seam roofs are proven to last longer, eliminate potential leak points and rusting that screws cause. Build to Last is offering 5% off your purchase, plus save up to $2,000 with free roll forming of your roofing sheets and guttering. Roofing that's built to last. Build to Last Hardware and Roofing Manufacturing Limited, Southern Main Road, Freeport. Call or WhatsApp 355-7703.
And welcome back. Remember, you're watching Breaking Barriers right here on IBN in Channel 8. We're almost to the 9 o'clock hour, but as you know, we always give you extra time. Congratulations to TKR yesterday. All you play like a bunch of dunce at the beginning, boy. I mean, no, not at the beginning. Midway, I don't know, like all you get foo-foo. I don't know what are going to do without Pollard, boy. What are you going to do without Pollard? Pollard always had a Pollard always is had a big one name, Zakir. Russell. Pollard Russell. Well, I know if my partner again die from Puran. Right? But Puran like he losing a little energy. But at the end of the day, TKR will give you a little break now, man. This kind of dotage team playing at the end and causing people to get stroke and heart attack and relax all yourself from that. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to open up the phone lines and in between we will take it from there, right? So remember, callers, when you call in, turn down the volume on your television, please. Hello? Hello?
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Inshan.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Could the Islamic leadership give okay to raise jihad and criminals in Trinidad, Tobago?
If the Islamic leadership could
give the Muslims the go-ahead jihad against the criminal, any criminals in Trinidad if the government fails in duty.
No, what was that? The leadership. You don't have to wait as a Muslim on leadership to do that. You know, let me tell you something. And what means that we are commanded very simply, if you see a wrong, physically try to stop it. Secondly, if you cannot stop it, speak out against it or totally hate it in your heart. So if you see a bandit, right, about to rob somebody, and you could drop some hard kick on the tail or level some cutlass, do it, right? But to go out there in a land that is a democracy and play that you want to go and find criminals and kill as you want, no leader is allowed to do that just so. Because as I said before, we don't run under Sharia law in Trinidad and Tobago, so therefore we have to respect the laws. One of the things that we learn to as Muslims is that you respect the laws of the land as well. So therefore, I understand what you're saying, and I understand the desperation, but you cannot just willy-nilly go and chop and kill people.
Yes, and this is important, Ichan, because coming back to, you said democracy. The purpose of this whole forum is non-political, but people-centered. And we have to continue to get the people to come together to work. So I agree with you in your suggestion of a momentum, not to let it...
It has to, not only that, there are people who are, a lot of the people you have there are people who are well known. Mirza is one of my favorites there. And what happens is that it is a start. But what you need to do now is you need to go outside of that now. You need to start to build. And that is one of the things that I have a little skill in, getting people to come together. So when they're ready, anti-crime motorcade, right? Those are the kind of things you need to do because Trinidadians like to drive, especially people with PEG and PEH number plate, they like to show off too, right? So therefore they go come with a fancy vehicle. So who know they have a brand new whatever, they know now. You understand? Yeah. Let's go back to our lines and take this call. Hello? Hello?
Yes?
Yes, go ahead. Good evening, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead, you're live.
Yes. Griffith and Pandey was on TV last week.
Go ahead.
Griffith and Pandey was on the program last week.
No. What happens is that Griffith confirmed that he will attend. Vasan confirmed that he will attend. Michaela is the only one that kind of ducking low. And I want to get 3 of them here. So I spoke to Michaela and I said, Michaela, X, Y, and Z. Michaela busy campaigning right now. But I need to get the 3 of them because I want to deal with a particular issue. You see, these people cannot keep going in their separate directions. And we need to let them know that. So I will advise you next week. I'm trying to pull that together, God willing. We'll advise you accordingly when it is to be done. All right, but I'm trying on my end. I've gotten the 2 of them so far to commit, Vasan and Gary. But Michaela is a little touch and go. All right?
I want to bring a point to you. They don't service, the government don't service anything, you know. So they run the dogs, because God both, they don't change all the things and just, you know.
Then what is the purpose of having maintenance managers, fleet managers? What is the purpose of these fellas and what purpose are they serving? Don't be surprised that the Coast Guard don't know that the engine gets stolen and they're trying to start it, you know. They're that dotish, you know.
Well, it's dotish people in the country, you know.
Well, it looked like dotish people all over. Thank you very much, my friend. Let's go again.
And this is what I wanted to add. So let's look at another stakeholder, Anchan, the farmers. They are being hit with pretty elastic. Their businesses are cash business. They are being robbed. The farmers are being murdered. And I have not seen any pretty last any squad.
Hold up righty. Because you know me, I can challenge everything.
That's fine.
Farmers in Trinidad and Tobago are hardworking people.
Yes.
But they also, many of them are well-to-do. Many of them have made a comfortable living. You agree?
Yes.
Well, then all you have to do, put 2 solar cameras on your property now, boy. Put 2 solar lights now, so here when any bandit come, at least it have a deterrent. You see, we cannot keep making excuses that because the pre-lasting squad can't be everywhere. Because you get here, you call the police service. E999, thank you for calling our automated system. If you're being raped, press 1. If you're being murdered, press 2. If you're being extorted, press 3. If Rowley's outside your door, press 4. Right? The fact is that when you look at how stupid it is, that Trinidad and Tobago have a wait. When you call the police service, you have to actually wait. You think for people thieving by gun, that could be a priority?
But if you are calling, let's say, assuming that Issa lives in Chase Village, and Issa has to call E99 because somebody parked outside and he don't know who it is. They're supposed to have these GPS systems and so on. So the minute Issa calls, hits the system, they already have a location as to where he's calling from. So the police won't ask him, could you give directions how to come by you? All this technology is available, all this government-to-government arrangement. And the same thing could help the farmers as well. Because why I'm raising the issue with the farmers is simply because we are also teamed up with another group called the Sills Farmers Group.
Well, Sills recently, Bindra, I think it's Bindra. Bindra. What happens is that he had highlighted an issue and I spoke to the minister on air. And the minister within 15 minutes changed the team one time after I spoke to him because that was some to look after the pricing structure, etc., with agriculture and all those things. And, you know, when you look at something that simple, being able to enact change, we need people like them. We need people like them. So therefore, I agree with you. But you see, you could have 1,000 organizations. When it is time to go there, what causes people to react or the population to move? For example, with Andrea Barrett, right? What caused that was a common denominator. And the fact is that people put aside all their reservations and came out because this hit us here. But when you have this thing taking place now, here what happening, that murder that take place in Tobago with the 3 of them, it affect we down here, now we children, so out of sight, out of mind. So there has to be momentum being built. For example, when we had done the shutdown in 2007, we actually had music trucks going all over this country. All over this country. We went all over this country. We were on the highway giving out flyers. So in other words, what we did, we created a 4-letter word. You see that 4-letter word? This is the key, hype. You create hype where people become excited to participate in something. If you have no hype, you have nothing. The youth's not coming out.
That's true. So in terms of the speakers, you did say that, Mirza is one of your favorite persons.
Yeah, of course.
Dr. Tiwari, Martin George.
Yeah.
And Issa is one of the speakers, and Pastor Dotted. But
of course.
Issa, could you say something about Mapa John Logan?
You know Mapa John?
I know Mapa. I know Mapa. Very eloquent, very, very, very strong, powerful.
She does a lot of fantastic work in the enterprise in the Chaguanas area. She has in terms of martial arts, but a lot beyond that. And we trying to bring together stakeholders from all across civil society. So we have the business community, and you see Jai here representing the business community. We have the religious community. You see Pastor and Mirza representing the religious community. You have persons like Mava, who are community workers and activists on the ground who doing work in their area.
But you get some licks, because one is that we have members of the Hindu community who will feel left out. Because and like I say, I just normally look to dot my I's and cross my T's. So if I know I'm hosting an event and I invite an imam and I invite a pastor, one of the bigger communities you have left out, which is the Hindu community. So I think that, and I would like to tell the Hindu community that this is not intentional, because at the end of the day, it was not going to be a religious thing.
No.
But it's just that you chose the more vocal people within the community.
And Dr. Tiwari is Hindu.
Right.
So
not a pundit.
Not a pundit. but to say we have representation on the panel from a very large cross-section, a broad cross-section of society, including, but that is the whole point. It's to build that coalition of all members of civic society. There's a history in Trinidad. You could go back to Adrian Cola Rienzi.
I thought you were going to tell me Nina Di Pinta and Santa Maria.
But the water riots.
Uriah Buzz Butler.
To say up from then till now, and this was 100 years, no government can just go and talk about water because of what happened with the water riots in Trinidad. Right? You're talking about the Cranbule riots. You're talking about Uriah Buzz Butler. You're talking about the Black Power movement.
And the burning down of the Red House.
The burning down. So we have this somewhere inside of us.
Yeah.
It's somewhere inside, but it fall asleep. You understand? So that courage that we're talking about, it in the history and the DNA of the country. The point is that courage had to resurrect. You say you are the number one on the police list after Yassin Abu Bakr. The late? Yeah, so then use number one, otherwise the ghost...
No, them still searching for Abu right now.
Oh, they're still searching for him? Okay, I understand.
Remember the police that search for the dead more than the living,
But the point is, when we could get the rank and file members of society to ascend that list and be right there, because it is the people of the country who are the owners of the democracy.
That's right.
And we seem to have forgotten that, and we've sort of given it up to the politicians, but it should not be that. It's the citizens of the country.
Therein lies the problem, What happens is that let us just talk a little reality here. We are talking about bringing about change and trying to get people to change their minds. You have a woman who lost 13 elections, right? Never win an election on her own. But yet it is you have people who are going to vote that same person back again to lose again. I don't know about you, but I cannot take 5 years of this present administration again. I cannot. My family cannot. The people who I know and I deal with cannot. So therefore change has to come about. Look, today I sent an email to Kamala and I told her, get your damn act together. I told her in plain words, time for you to get your act together. You see this stupidness with this fighting with Gary and this dotations with this one? Let it end now. Right? That is how I just drop it on them, because these people, like I say, I ain't gonna bow to nobody, I ain't gonna genuflect to them.
But that brings us to a very important point. And again, I'm going back to an Islamic principle, which is Allah will not change the condition of our people.
Unless.
So my point here is that we need a mindset. This mindset that we have, it's wrong, and it's leading us into trouble. And we have to switch the brain. The brain not switch on the correct frequency right now, because we keep handing our power to other people. And so long as you keep giving your business to somebody, you could give your business to somebody else to run all the time and don't check in and don't bother and don't follow up on what's going on. If you leave it to them, they will run it to the ground. But this is what we have done. We have been handing over our business to people, and we're not doing any of the double checking and the back checking, and the citizens have a role to play in a democracy.
And fundamentally to Inshan, for 9 years, the government has not been effectively engaging stakeholder groups in this country.
Yes, they have. The government has engaged stakeholders, the stakeholders that benefit them. For example, the stakeholders that they want to help build Balize House, they have been meeting with them.
They've weaponized stakeholders.
The stakeholders who had to give kickbacks for the election, they have been meeting with them. So the stakeholders that benefit them, they have been meeting. You understand? But you see, what confuses me is that, look, for example, I write in FOI every week. Through my attorney, Richard Jagisa, we doing what the opposition, like I told you when we were on the break, we applied to get documents from NCC, the National Carnival Commission, for a breakdown of Carnival. We only spent 146 million because Gypsy get up and say, here, Carnival, it was a bust. They needed more money. Well, for you to make that statement means that you would have some form of accountability. And the NCC, since March, they promised us in June. They supposed to do it in 30 days. Nothing in June, nothing in July, nothing in August, nothing so far in September. You know what we have to do? We have to file for judicial review now, take it to court, to get the court to force them to give us those documents. Why? But you know what's going to happen? It's going to come out like the ladder, the $1 million ladder exposed, right? The wooden ladder now for fire, because in Trinidad, they go wooden ladder, the ladders don't burn. That is a special type of wood. So, folks, what we're doing is that we have just about a few minutes again. So what we'll do is that we'll open up back our phone lines again. For those of you who want to call in and let us hear, what ideas you have, if you think that these guys are on the right track. And, if you have any, words of encouragement, or if you want to be part of the team, just let us know. Remind us of the event, please, and when it's taking place. Could we get that flyer on the screen again, guys? Right. So it's taking place at the TML Hall, and it's taking place on the 22nd from 9 a.m.
9 a.m. to 12 p.m.
to 12 noon, right?
We have the panel, and the names are there. And we'll be having, each panelist will be giving a short talk, after which we're inviting members of the public to come and ask questions and make their contributions. So it's an opportunity for people to get involved and to interact and ask questions with the panel, and also share their ideas and their suggestions.
Was the police invited? Come back to me, guys.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I was asked this question. Somebody asked me if you would invite the Prime Minister, right?
And the answer is yes.
Absolutely. Man, I would love every single one of them to come and show up in that audience.
Boy, I could drop it on them so hard.
I would love for all of them to come and show up in that audience. Because this is what it's about. When something happened in France, they tried to raise the retirement age by 2 years in France. What happened? The whole country come and shut the country down.
Because you see, the fire burns in the bellies of the people in Europe and all over the world.
I don't blame our citizens. Look at what you personally have gone through.
Yeah.
Right? They throw so much at you. You strong, your back broad. Not everybody cut out to deal with that. So I understand we have allowed our politicians to beat us down so much that people just scared. But somebody, you holding the torch and carry on the fight, but you can't do it by yourself. We need more. You need more. You need 10, you need 20, you need 500 to join you on that most wanted list.
Not only that, how old are you now, sir?
I am 40.
You're 40, right? And Jai, you clock in
62,
right? And I is about 35, right? So, but when you look at this, what we need is young blood. Because we need people, all right, you have these influencers. What they're really influencing, right? What are they really influencing? And that is something that we have to tap on. We have influencers who could get the young people to move. Because Jaya with your old self, you with your half-old self, and me with my middle-aged self, right? We don't have the attraction like some of these people outside there. So what you need to do is incorporate them. In other words, you need to make a good mix where you have people who are influential and can make a difference. Because the youths, you cannot have something like this, and the young people are left aside.
You know what gives me a lot of hope? You look at the situation with Israel and Palestine. And what gives me a lot of hope? Who drove the protests in the United States and in England and in all the Western countries? Young people.
Students.
Students, the young people. That Gen Z, the millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, the younger ones. Now, that is the energy that need to awaken in this country. The same way it was awakened there. And we saw it. We all saw it play across the world. Look, how many leaders fell from office. Don't tell me Biden fell out of office because of his age. It was Gaza, it was Israel, it was Palestine.
Well, let me ask you a question. All right, let's go to our lines. Hello. Hello.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Just an observer, I'd like to put in one or two little input. I agree with what everybody is trying to do for the country. Yes, but we all have to stand together as one. Let us get the people involved. Business people. We know the police is, they have to listen to what the government or whatever the people, they're being paid off them to do what they have to do. What I'm saying is get the people involved. I am one of those people who would like to get involved. I would not say who am I on air, but of course we will meet personally. But we are business people and we are the victims of all these crimes. We have to stand up and stand for what is right. What I believe will be right is if you, Mr. Ishmael, you could get some kind of part played in. Time is of the essence. Nobody listens to nobody anymore. But you seem to have some form of a stronghold in the whole country. And I mean, you stand for what is right, and I agree with you. Let us get together, get the people involved, get every citizen involved, marching and protesting, and let me just come together and talk it out, and let us do something about it. We have to put an end to it, and let us start something new.
Thank you.
There?
Well said.
You're welcome.
Well said.
Bye.
Thank you. Yeah, you see, and that is something that I'd said early on. What happened is that because I've had a history of not running, people trust me. So therefore, one of the things that we could do is that we could partner and have a mass rally at Baraka Grounds. I could offer the grounds. And with that rally now, we could start the ball moving, because when you see people start to come out, it creates an atmosphere of change. And we need to start that atmosphere of change, because as I've said before, last week my brother Nazim couldn't attend because he was under the weather, and this week as well. And, I'm glad to see that he is well recovered, right? He's on his way to recovery. And the reason I'm mentioning that is that we don't know what tomorrow could bring. Tomorrow you just go on in the bathroom and you're coughing and blood come out. Next thing you know, you find out you have a massive tumor growing inside of you that you don't even know. 1 month again and you go on poof. The time you have the ability, the energy, the physical strength to enact change, we need to do it. Because how much more murders are we going to take? And then you are not exposed to what I am exposed to. I'm exposed to the raw videos and the raw pictures direct from the police service. We're on a group. And I am able to see things that many of you would not see. And to watch big men with their brains leaking out of their head, to watch children being shot and murdered, right? It pains me what is going on in Palestine. And I wish I could change it. I've always said that if I get a chance to go, I'll go. Because I always believe in supporting what is right. But my country needs me now. And my country needs you and you, Jai. So the fact is that whoever has to come together must come together now. It ain't nothing like, I don't like your glasses. And I don't like, but when you see these politicians behaving like a bunch of nincompoops, the people who, imagine, I want to bring it back again. NACTA said that PNM has a lead. Now, NACTA does 99% be wrong. But the fact is that just the very thought that a poll could be done and shows you that this country in the worst that it has ever been, and the same people who have us here is in the lead, it tells you that mad people was interviewed. It tells you that sick people was interviewed. It tells you that diseased people were interviewed. Because you cannot be right in your head with what is going on in this country with everything falling apart and still say I can't support this. But you have Kamala who watching this program right now. She attacking Gary. Gary had an answer back. Michaela choosing candidates. I mean, Michaela, your party now start candidates for what? You're not going to win anything with the candidates that you have because you cannot win alone. All of you need to come together. And if we need to show them here, this nonsense has to stop. All let them come together now. All opposition forces have to come together to save this country.
And the only thing that politicians are afraid of is people. And people in the streets.
They're afraid of and it is the government must be afraid of the people.
People in the streets is the only thing. The only thing that politicians are afraid of.
Yeah, but you see, they have a history of arresting the lead.
Somebody once told me, a good friend of mine once said, if you ain't prepared to get arrested, you shouldn't be doing no protest.
Well, good. You will get arrested this time. No, because one said, remember at my age, my arthritis and acting up and no, you know.
You want me to take one for you? Okay.
Brother man, and one of the things that I must say, I think I'm very proud of you. I know the family that you come from is a well-respected family.
Appreciate it.
And I could tell you that what you are doing, I could tell the general public, this is not about publicity, this is not about ego, this is not about political power. I have known this gentleman donkey years now. And what happens is that what he speaks is from the heart. And I know Jai as well. Gentlemen, you each have 2 minutes on either side for your closing comments.
Okay, I'll give you the last word. So I want to acknowledge the partners we are working with, Project 600 Committee, the Citizens for Sustainable and Competitive Trinidad and Tobago. It's a chat, but these citizens are very interested. And of course, the Sales Farmers Group, we are partnered with them as well. And I want to thank them for the partnership. There are others as well, and they will be recognized on the day of the event. Trinidad and Tobago is going through a very dark future right now. And when I drive on the road and I see school children, especially on primary schools coming out of the school to go home, I'm saying, what future are we giving them? It is time to stem the rise of crime now. The time to act is now. We will begin by orderly forums, orderly marches, orderly protests, orderly events within the confines of law, but to make our voices be heard. This has to come to an end. This totally things have to come to an end. And in the words of the famous Calypsonian explainer, we just cannot go on this way. We cannot. Too much of people are suffering because of the issue of crime. We are losing business investments. We don't even have any incoming foreign investment in the country. We are no part of any global value chains like how Intel makes its chips in Costa Rica or how Taiwan makes all the semiconductors. We're not part of that. It is really putting our country into a dark future. That is what we do not want. I don't think any citizen of this country want that. We want something to show prosperity, but we have to address the crime first. Thank you, Inchan.
Yes, sir.
Jai mentioned the partners and thanked them, so I'm glad for that. I want to thank you, Inchan, for having us on the show and for giving us this very...
No, I was only planning to give only 50 minutes, and then only did so well, I decided to extend it half an hour. And then only went on so good, I decided to give only 45 minutes. And then just continue to keep only for hour.
Well, I am extremely grateful for that and giving us the time to really get the message across. To Trinidad and Tobago, what I want to say is that this is not something that we're asking you to do for me or for Jai or for Inchan or for anybody else. This is about you and your family and your future and the future of your kids in this country. This is about supporting something that will bear fruit for generations to come. I'm just asking everyone, I am humbly requesting to support the initiative. The seminar is on Sunday, the 22nd of September, at the TML compound in St. Joseph. I'm asking everybody to support, to attend. If you can't even attend personally, what we're asking is you to spread the message and to encourage persons to attend, to encourage persons to participate. Because what is at stake here is nothing more or less than the future of our country and the sort of life that we want our children to be able to live in this paradise. So again, Inchan, thank you very much for the opportunity, and I'm looking forward to the seminar.
And mention about the live streaming.
Oh, well, yes, we will have it. We will have it live streamed.
Live stream.
Yeah, that will be an option, of course.
Well,
Project 600.
One of the things that I would offer to you, and this is for you to continue to grow, is that I would offer the airtime every week, a weekly program hosted by Project 600, where you can do a weekly program, and that will help you build up your base.
Thank you.
So we will give you the airtime that you could do, and you could pull in your guests, and you could pull in, and as I said before, build in the momentum and build up the hype. So it is my way of saying, look, we are serious about making sure that individuals that we believe could make a difference, we give them the tools to help them make that difference. We cannot just sit by idly and, allow what is taking place to take place. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I have never been known to have a fearful bone in my body. I have always stood up for what is right. Nobody could malign my name or my father's name in anything, and that is something I plan to take with me even when I die. So to those people watching, I hope to see you on the 22nd at the TML Center in St. Joseph at 9 a.m. Very short period. If you want to come for 10, that's okay, no problem, because I know many of you have your chores to do, etc., and then you get a break. All right, so we look forward to seeing you there, as well as stay tuned, because things are going to start to happen. God willing, things are going to start to happen. All right, so be safe outside there, and of course, just make sure to focus on the children and have the children, especially you see this nightline by the burning with many of the children. Parents, put your foot down and stop that nonsense with your children. Let them come home and do what they need to do inside the house, because quite frankly, stepping outside is putting them at risk. There was a young man that went missing. In fact, I was supposed to see if I get his information, but I don't know if he's still missing. All right, so God bless you. Take care. Have a good one. And there's a repeat of this program on Saturday, God willing. Also, I will try to see if I can get the full team. If I cannot get Michaela, because Michaela, as I said before, when I spoke to her, she told me that she would advise me on 2 occasions. Vasant agreed, Gary agreed. So if I don't get Michaela, we'll try to see who else we can get, and we'll start the ball rolling. Because right now, politics is in the air. Because we don't know if Psycho could decide to call election, God knows when. Right? And I don't know who I'm talking about. Right? So take care, folks, and I'll catch you next week for Breaking Barriers. All the best. Assalamu alaikum and good evening.